Here's an example of the kind of problem I'm going to ask in the exam, where you are given a program and your task is to correct it. This is a program that contains syntax errors, it does not what it's supposed to do, and it has a number of bad style parts in it that need to be corrected. So also, what I mean by bad style are these bullet points here. So a number of these things need to be put into the program to make it not only do what it's supposed to do, but also make it more readable, more understandable. So this program here is supposed to draw a Swiss cross on a red background. So the first command clears the screen or the window with a red background, and then the pen and fill color are set to white. There is a function called drawLeg that supposedly draws a single one of the 4 legs of the Swiss cross, and then this is called 4 times in a row, and then the whole thing is filled. So let's see. Well, we get our first error. The name drawLeg is not defined, but we've defined it. Well, not quite, because you see the L is capitalized here, but it's not capitalized here. All right. Next up, yeah, now it runs, but it doesn't draw anything useful. So we have no leg being drawn, or a single one, and it's not even filled. So what's happening here? So we see, for example, that this command write 90 is not indented, so it doesn't take it as part of the program, of the function. So supposedly it's supposed to be part of the function. So let's see what this does. We have our Swiss cross. It's not filled. Why is it not filled? Because we never called start path. What's going on here? Well, because we actually start a path and fill a path for each leg. And since the legs don't overlap, it just draws one leg, fills it, moves on to the next, fills it, moves on to the next, and the center part never gets filled. So what you actually want is to start the path before the loop, and also fill it after the loop. Now we have our Swiss cross. All right, so we have corrected the syntax errors, and we have the behavior of the program that was actually intended. So a few things about style now that can be improved upon. First of all, there's this variable x here that is being used in the function drawLeg. So first of all, what is x? X is really not a good, doesn't really tell us anything. But it seems since we move forward x, and then we turn left, move forward a little bit, and then move back the length x, that x is actually the length of the arms. And then now, if anything, we need to pass the arm length as an argument to the function drawLeg. We could give it a different name here, but yeah, this is better, because a function should bring along as parameters anything it needs to perform correctly. If it refers to anything outside of it, this amounts to mixing different levels of the program. It's just a bad style, it's just an error in waiting. might work now, but later we modify something in the program, you want to do something else, and then this is just a possible source of errors that create later. All right, so well, it should still work, yes. Now there's another magic number here, 60. Apparently this is the width of the arms, so let's call it like that. And we need to, now at this point, we should pass it as an argument as well, but at this point, it doesn't really make sense to have a function for all of this. I mean, we call this function exactly once, right, inside the loop, and always with the same argument. Putting things into a function really starts to make sense when we want to call it with different sets of parameters, because this prevents us from repeating code, but code that is not 100% the same because the parameters are all a bit different. This is not really a situation here. We only call this thing in one occasion, so we can actually get rid of the function. It doesn't really serve any purpose here. And just do this and define the arm width in here. Let's just check. It still does what we want. Next, these things here get reset to the same values 4 times in a row. Each time we draw a new arm. Let's do it just once at the beginning and that's it. Actually, even before that, they're part of the setup. So all these lines here are doing the first basic setup for drawing. Defines the colors and the lengths in the figure. All right. So this draws the Swiss cross. What else? We have some useful comments. The indentation, well, the original indentation error has disappeared because we've actually eliminated the function. We have some expressive names for our parameters. We have, well, there's no really need for separating things into functions here. Do we have any repetitive code? A little bit, but that's still acceptable. And we've gotten rid of magic numbers by giving them names. Now, this already is a really good program. It's become much more readable. Now, these things here can be simplified a little bit. If you remember that we can also set the pen width. So when we want to draw a leg, which is a rectangle, we actually don't have to move around the border. We can just move along the middle with a given width. So we can actually here set the pen width to this arm width. And instead of doing all of this, where we still need to turn 90 degrees, we just move forward the arm length and move it back to get back into the center. Now this should work. Ah, yes, of course. This is not a variable, this is a function call. Yeah, I think the proportions are still right. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. We could insert a little comment here that inside the loop we draw a single leg and then turn around for the next leg. What else? I think we're done here. This is a really good readable program. Yeah, that's fine.